Good morning, friends. How are you? It is currently 7:22 on an early July morning on a Sunday. We are getting ready, getting packed up to go back up to Donegal, where I recorded the first video today. Just trying to squeeze this in. I will say, as I start off, I know the lighting isn't the best, given that it's brighter outside than it is in here. But look, at the minute, the goal is just to get these videos done. We can always re-record them later. So I do apologize for that. But this week, I'm going to just continue on with the story of how I got from where I was a number of years ago to a position where I feel like, actually, yeah, let's go start coaching people. Let's go help others achieve what I've achieved and ultimately what they can achieve in their own lives. So, as I said, last week, it started off January 2011, woke up one morning, walking past the mirror in my room, realized I was fat as F. Was not happy, really just completely blindsided with it. At 5'6", weighing in at 93 kilos, borderline, if you use your BMI scale, of being obese, fat, really not happy. Everything that came along with that as well, not adding to my life. Jump forward 6 months later, had dropped down a number of kilos, where I ended up then in the early 60s in terms of weight, looking much better, looking much leaner, having much more stronger habits in terms of diet, exercise, nutrition, all that good stuff, mood, everything all up. Great. Surely that's the end of the story then, Shane. Unfortunately not. Where I actually went to after that, in and around the June-July period, about 6 months after I started working out or started losing weight, was I signed up for this course called Scrawny to Brawny by Precision Nutrition. Now, Precision Nutrition are a really well-known company in the fitness industry, but usually only for fitness professionals. So people who are personal trainers, coaches, that type of thing, where they offer certification courses for if you're a coach coming in and helping people with their nutrition coaching. And I signed up for their course, called Scrawny to Brawny, which was a year-long transformation program where they tracked your nutrition, you tracked your habits, and you tracked your workouts. And obviously you got a coach and all that good stuff, but one key part of the program was every single day you logged in, you said, did you do your workout, did you eat your food as you should have, and did you maintain your habits? I had these habits for 2 weeks. And so you go, yes, no, yes, whatever it might be. And there's a little tracker. So you get 3 percentages as to how compliant you were across the board. Jump forward to the end of that program. Made huge progress, learned a lot, all really good stuff, and I highly recommend it. But at the end of that program, I was at 100% compliance across all 3. Didn't miss a single workout, didn't miss a single meal, and didn't miss a single habit. Not one, for an entire year. That came at a cost. And that cost was I had to sacrifice social events. I had to get up early when I was really tired. All the usual stuff, which in and of itself isn't necessarily bad, so long as it is a choice that you have actively made. That you have said, okay, for X period of time, I need to really move the needle on this area of my life. Other things are going to have to sacrifice, but those sacrifices are short term, and I will come back and I will make up the ground that I have lost at a later date. That's healthy, that's natural, and not only is it natural, it's required to make progress. Unfortunately, I didn't have that conversation with myself. And what actually ended up happening was I was so scared of regressing. I was so terrified. If I let anything slip, if all these habits that I had built up to get my progress, if I let any of them slip, I'd be fat again. And that cannot happen. And what happened was, that bled into my life. That meant that Saturdays when me and my partner were supposed to go visit friends and the gym didn't open for late, we weren't meeting friends. Or I'm not meeting friends. You can do whatever you want. You go on, but I'm not doing it. I was just terrified. And that happened time and time again. And as we got closer or more into the program, and that 100% is there every day, the don't break the chain actually had a negative impact for me, saying I can't miss it because I've never missed one yet. I can't miss one. And what that led to was the total demise of my relationship. Understandably so, because I didn't let my partner know how I was feeling. We didn't talk about my fears, my insecurities, how I thought it was all going to fall apart. So all that happened was I, over time, became a worse and worse partner. Now, obviously, a relationship always goes 2 ways. There was opportunities potentially for her to step in, but really, when I come back to the actual root cause, it was a fear and an insecurity for myself to let anything go. in parallel with this, it was also impacting my career. My head was always at, okay, where do I need to go here? Where's my gym? When am I getting the gym? Where's my food coming from? Blah, 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 blah. And while I was driven, while I feel like I was an intelligent young mechanical engineer, I wasn't getting any satisfaction from my job. I thought I should have been making more of an impact. I thought that more opportunities should just be given to me. I was feeling very, well, woe is me, woe is me. Those problems ultimately got so bad that we decided to move on, in the sense of we wanted to move back up to Dublin. The place we were both working in, we were both working in the same facility, ended up closing down. So like, right, let's go back to Dublin. Unfortunately, we had been unemployed in between moving to Dublin and when that place shut down, which didn't help. But ultimately, we ended up moving back to Dublin. But the problems had gotten so bad that we decided to move in to different places. So she moved in with one of her friends, I moved in with one of mine, and that was really the start of the relationship going really sour, really sour. Career didn't really get much better. I'd love to say new job, new place. If anything, it got worse. And one thing led to another, but ultimately my partner decided to move to Canada, asked me if I wanted to come, thinking that maybe if we go away we could work on the relationship together, it would be a nice little reset. And in that sense then it was a little bit initially. So with all the excitement of moving, I kind of dealt with some of the demons I had in terms of regressing a little bit. So yeah, we went over, we enjoyed ourselves a little bit in terms of the relationship side of things, and I actually decided to take an opportunity to make a career change. So I've been an engineer working in the drinks industry. I was like, you know what, I'm really getting into this health and fitness stuff. Let's turn this into a job, let's turn this into a career. So I actually went and I got an opportunity to work as an intern strength and conditioning coach, with the goal of that program was obviously to coach clients, but the next part of the program along was to develop strength and conditioning coaches from scratch. So the systems, the tools, the ability to actually coach people, not only through physical space, i.e. programs, but also their mind, their head, their support, to try and help them deal with all these problems that I had found myself with, in terms of being afraid to drop consistency and struggling with consistency maybe on the other end of things. All those mental problems that people deal with, the tools to help deliver on them. We were in Canada for a year and a half, and unfortunately the good progress we had seen at the start of that move probably turned negative by the time we were coming home. Don't get me wrong, I look at my time in Canada as being one of the best things I've done in my life. But when we were leaving Canada, essentially it was one of we had three realizations. The first one was the relationship was done. It was over, and when we came back, we broke up. I actually flew home by myself. The second one is that, and this one is a positive, that working in the gym helped me realize that I had a lot of mental barriers, a lot of limiting mindsets, a lot of woe is me, stuff we've already talked about. So I developed tools and systems and an ability to see, okay, what does excellent look like? How good could it be if all the kind of positive type thinking and tools and systems that come along with that ultimately will make me a good coach, that have made me a good coach to people so far. Not only a coach to myself, but a coach to help other people. And that was great, that's excellent. But that came with a little sting in its tail, in that I still hadn't dealt with, this needs to be 100% of the time. As soon as I let this slip at all, if I take a day off, if I take a half an hour off, I'm being lazy, I've been unproductive, I've left so much room for capacity on the table when I was figuring all this stuff out over the last few years. I need to catch back up. So much so that actually when I came back to Ireland, while I feel like I had moved on, while I feel like I had made friends and memories that I will cherish for a lifetime, I was in the worst point in my life. I was depressed, I had no money, my relationship of 9 years was over, I didn't know what to do with my career, I was back living at home with my mum, I had no job, it wasn't great. And that for me was rock bottom. And that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Because it was at that point, well, over the next 12 months, where I realized that if I don't sort this out now, I'm going to hoof myself over a bridge. And I don't say that lightly. Thankfully, I was never at that stage where those were real thoughts I was having, but I could see that ahead of me. I could see that if I keep going down this path and I don't do something, this is going nowhere good fast. And so when I look to the next few years, there's a lot of really, really good progress made. But in that moment, with what I had seen and what I could see in front of me, it really wasn't good. really wasn't good. My career, my relationship, and my life had gone down the Swanee, and it was time to do something about it. The good news is I was energized, I was excited, and I really knew that I could make some positive change. I just didn't know how. But that's for next week's video. So okay folks, between now and then, please enjoy the video, watch out for midweek musings. Again, apologies for the lack of me being good on video, good video quality, good audio quality. There's cars driving by, apologies. As I said a couple of weeks ago, this is me just, let's get videos out, let's get started, let's get practicing, and over time, I promise these will get better. But please subscribe, please like, and please come along for the ride. Let me know what you think. Until next week, have a great one. Peace.